things?
Well, the Safe Routes to School program in general is a statewide program that looks for situations where we can improve, obviously just improve routes to school. And this is why we're here. My primary meeting for wanting to talk today was just, obviously we have a work zone out there that's not going to be finished before the kids have to come back to school. And I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and we have a safe way for the kids to get there. They're really, with the work zone on one side of College Highway and nothing on the other side, there really isn't a great alternative. And I just want to make sure that we're okay here.
All right, so just so you know, Andy is, must know that he's one of the contractors, right?
Yeah.
And then there's people here from the town because when your colleague Paul sent me an email asking me to invite Randall Kemp, who's over here in the red and white shirt, who's the highway department, right?
Joe.
He asked me to invite him, then he must have talked to Charlie Kanicki, who's on the select board, and then Tammy Walutis, who is...
I'm a town resident, but I'm also on the Southampton School Committee,
Mhm.
just trying to get information regarding the schools.
And then Chief Goyette. So they have lots of questions too and knew that you were coming, so now everybody's kind of here.
Well, then that's great. I think
Yeah.
if we can, the more we can put on the table and
Okay.
keep everybody on the same page is great. And like I say, all I really care about is that the kids are safe when they get here and go home safely.
Right.
Whatever we need to do to accomplish that, let's
Okay.
figure out.
So I'm not sure if I said this to you in the email or not, but since the project started before the end of the school year last year, we anticipated problems prior to you reaching out to me, just because it kind of happened, I
Sure.
like to start digging up and now. So the buses had already contacted my school secretary. We worked out where they were dropping off and picking up, not really moving routes, but kind of navigating differently. I think we used a smaller school bus to navigate Mountain View Circle maybe,
Okay.
because of just, you couldn't really get in and out of that area. We've already spoken to them about what's gonna happen this year, same thing. And we don't have any kids that walk without a parent, I would say.
Okay.
We don't have any kids that walk alone through that area as far as we know, and we definitely don't have anyone that walks without a parent. So if they're walking, they're with a parent. So that's fine. I think we're really more concerned now just about updates about, is the project coming along, when is it gonna finish, and are there other things that you think I could be doing to make sure the kids are safe?
No, it sounds like you're on top of it. If the update-wise, Andy may have a little more information than I do, but basically it's a project very heavily laden with utilities. Relocate the water main, put the gas main where the water main was, put the utility poles where the gas main was, and then put a sidewalk on top of it.
Yeah.
And right now, the water main's been relocated, the gas main's been relocated, the utility poles have been relocated, and we're in the process of moving the utilities from the old poles to the new poles.
Okay.
That's getting from the top down, that's getting Eversource to do their work, and correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, Charter to do their work, Verizon to do their work.
Yep, and I was prepping these people, Charter, Eversource stepped it up, they're off.
They
the
did,
old
yeah,
poles.
they did.
Charter has been non-responsive. You see my emails and contacts. I was going to suggest maybe Paul Kelly and you could reach out and help.
Yeah,
me,
I'll see what I can do with that.
because they have done nothing.
I came through this morning on my way to Northampton, and there was a Charter truck parked on the job with the lights flashing, and
Oh,
I
that much I
stopped-
did not even know. I've never
I
seen
stopped,
that
I stopped and I said, he said, no, I'm just here for a cable.
You got excited?
I said, no, I'm just here for a cable outage in the area, so, yeah.
Oh, so
Okay, so they weren't there.
we really got to motivate Charter and Verizon. I told these people, Verizon's been on the job. They're
Mhm.
putting slack in their line so that once Charter's off, they can, their work will move quickly. They can swap over
Right.
and chop the poles out of there. That opens up a lot, once, when CNA gets back, progress is gonna be speedy. It's gonna be great, but.
And unfortunately, it looks like,
Can you send me an email concerning Charter? Because Charter has a contract with this town. And that contract deals with lines on the street and everything else.
Yeah, I certainly can. I can give you the whole email chain going back for months and.
Well,
you know,
I don't
what-
need that, but what I need is something so I can motivate
Yep.
their administration to move stuff. Here's my business card. It
Yeah,
has
I'll
my
take that and
email
I'll
on it.
I'll send you, I'll give you a little summary of what I've been doing, I'm not just sitting by waiting. Yeah, thank
No,
you.
I know you're not, but
Um,
Andy, it's like anything else. It's connecting the dots to make them happen.
Right, and what, if you and Paul can help,
Oh,
I don't know what type of leverage you guys have, but that's really we never wanted to vacate the job.
No.
We stayed as long as we could, and then we're actually coming back next week, good or bad, right in parallel to his job, I'm doing more water main for the town. So we're gonna be back here next week, you'll get detail orders. Then we're gonna stay here, button up as much of this job as we can, and I agree with your comment about the housekeeping is, when we left here, we didn't realize it's gonna turn into 6 weeks, 8 weeks, et cetera. We think we're gonna leave, for a short period, the job's fine, it isn't that big of a mess, but it's turned into a long time now.
Well, there's like the corner of Pomeroy and 10 and a couple places where there's mounds of dirt where it forces people into the road. Even if they're trying to traverse the dirt area, there's some flat areas, you still have to come out and around. Is there any way, if you're not going to be doing the sidewalk work, can you push some of that back to open that?
Yeah, I actually didn't put my eyeballs on that, but, that's, next week I'll have my crew, maybe we can meet, you
Yeah,
and
sure.
myself and Paul. When we're here, anything goes, we'll take care of all that. I actually didn't notice that myself,
Yeah.
but.
My next question is, so once Charter moves their lines and Verizon, like you said, it sounds like they're ready to go as soon as Charter's done, does that give Eversource the green light to pull the old poles and get those out of your way so you can continue?
Yes, once Verizon's off the old poles, it is Verizon Eversource set, so they have to yank the old ones. That would take a day.
Right.
So yeah, it opens
So
up
then you
all of our
can
work.
really move along in getting those areas ready.
Yep. Because this is, if we were here right now, in 2 months we'd have the entire job done. The problem we're gonna end up facing is we're gonna hit the cold weather. We're gonna end up splitting the seasons now, where our original paperwork to Joe, by October, CNA should have been done out of this whole job. Now, it will go into May, but once the poles are out, everything will be graded nicely. There'll probably be a lot, the sidewalk work should be done. Job also includes doing the roadway as well. That might wait till the spring. Mill down and repave.
I would think that the primary concern for the town would be to get the sidewalk.
Exactly, and which is gonna be, the first thing we do when they're out, when
Sure.
they vacate. And we'll start too, the problem is, it's only 2,000 feet, so we could start from Park, but we're gonna run right into the poles in like 3 days, you know what I mean? So,
When you say that you'll get the sidewalks, there's a grass median sidewalk, grass median bike trail thing.
No.
You're focusing, I thought there's 10 feet of,
it's a 10-foot
It's
walk.
10
10
foot
foot
wide
wide.
multi-use sidewalk.
okay, so that full thing is the sidewalk,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the sidewalk and the multi-use path are one and the same. And yeah, we're gonna focus from the curb to the private property. The road work is probably gonna be more like April of 2018. Just due to weather constraints and things like that. But that's not really the big, that's not a problem.
Right.
We know the task at hand is,
I mean, the other night I went out there and a woman was out there with a stroller trying to navigate Route 10.
yeah,
It was like,
Right.
we're not making this better.
no.
Do you have any signage of something that we can put up temporarily during all this of pedestrian traffic slow or something to give more notice to motorists or anything? Is there?
I have to go through, I don't have, right off the top of my mind, I'm not sure without checking our stock. The job didn't call for anything, but I can certainly get anything made up inside of like 3 days.
We can also look at the MUTCD and
Yeah.
find something appropriate.
I can
Just
put-
something that would help get the message out there more to motorists. I mean, they should all see that there's
Mhm.
things going on, but,
Yeah.
Especially with school starting next
Right.
Wednesday, there's gonna be extra,
More
Traffic.
traffic.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot more.
Do you have any ideas what you want the signage to say, or?
That's why I was saying, pedestrian foot traffic, go slow or something. I don't wanna get it too wordy, but just something that we can get
Right,
a.
too
a
wordy
message.
and or expose ourselves, like
Right.
pedestrians in road, use caution, but now we're saying if there really will be pedestrians in road, well, this is a weird job, there's no way to handle pedestrian traffic, do you notice that? Like,
Yeah, there really is.
ordinarily, you'd have like temporary sidewalks and.
Yeah.
I mean, there's children at play signs and things that people just kinda, you know,
It's not something that stands out.
you just need something,
Sidewalk closed for foot traffic?
Eliza, there's no way, you guys don't think there's many children that walk from that area?
No.
'Cause I thought that's the whole reason that we were putting in the sidewalks.
Well, I think that they don't
because
walk now because it's not safe to do so.
Oh, okay,
Even
so
before
they're,
the project, because I
they're
really.
drivers? Like people
Right,
drive them in?
they're dropping the kids off. They're going
Okay,
through
'cause
that
that's
pickup
my
line
fear
to-
is that people are gonna be walking through a
We
construction.
want them
Yeah,
to
that was my
Yeah.
fear, that's why I wanted to, I just didn't want day after day kids trying to creep through the work zone and,
Right, right.
It's very obvious to me that once this is completed, that is gonna be a banner area of foot traffic in
Oh,
this
yeah.
town.
Oh, yeah.
cause after school
I
hours,
hope.
there's lots of kids walking. There were kids on bikes and walking the other night, just,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, it's after
evening,
school they're
right,
out there,
Right.
you know?
Is
So
that what
they go
happened
to
in the?
Upnies and Dunkin' Donuts, yeah.
Was there an effort in the fall when the project started to reach out to parents in that area to say, you know, please drive your kids to school until the project's finished?
No?
Okay, they just did it initially?
I do know that on several occasions last school year, that utility vehicles were blocking Mountain View Road, or excuse me, Mountain View Circle, so the buses couldn't even go down the street to pick the kids up. The utilities were on one side of the circle, and then other vehicles blocking it completely, so the bus drivers couldn't even get down the street to get kids.
okay, we can certainly address that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was, we started here March 27th, so that was that was utilities, you said?
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
tough. I mean, once you get a bus down one side of Mountain View, if the other end's not open, you
can't
gotta
turn
back the
around.
bus the whole way out, so that they just didn't go down there. They were leaving one end open at a time. I saw that.
So
wow.
the other day I pulled in the Mountain View Circle closest to Pomeroy Meadow, the first one, and I tried to come out the second one, and there was a truck right there. I thought it was a charter truck. And to look left and look right, traffic coming, and no cop out there directing traffic like they were in the spring, Mickey immediately called the bus company and said, we don't think a bus would be able to, definitely wouldn't be able to take a, I think she said left. So unless the bus is coming in and going out and taking a right only, then we're good. But if the bus is trying to take a left, there's no way that you'd be able to. So they're working on that.
I have a friend that drives the little bus, and
Yeah.
she was not able
Mhm.
to get down that street to get the kids.
Right. So what did she do? Because I didn't hear anything about it.
I don't know what she did.
Okay.
Was that a one-day event, or was it ongoing?
I know it happened definitely once, possibly twice, but it was near the end of the school year. So that was in June.
Andy, you mentioned the water line expansion from where it ended.
Yep,
My understanding is it's going all the way down to Gun Road Extension.
yep.
Will that intersection be affected as well?
No, other than during the day with your typical slowdowns, that will not be shut down
Okay.
in any significant form, and it'll always be passable, you know, both vehicular and pedestrians.
Okay.
But there's no sidewalks down there, is there?
No.
There aren't,
That
no.
we're gonna have, but yeah, CNA will not make things worse than they are, other than, like I say, 7 to 3 during the
Oh,
work.
that's just one of the street goes out to
Yeah,
Pomeroy Meadow,
yep.
the other street
Yeah, I know,
ends
it's
up right
both
there.
passes. You know, but we'll make sure if something were to have a hiccup, we could stand out on the town work, but I don't think that'll come to pass.
Okay.
Sure.
Over here. Okay, thanks.
No, it just sounds like.
On the, with all this sidewalk going in and everything that's gonna be done on that section now, or just mainly for Mass DOT, Mass DOT, the state highway itself, who's maintaining those grass sections and the islands and that, you know, cause I've always been told, so many feet off of the road that the state owns. Well, if you have a street coming up and there's an island there, are they maintaining that island, or are they mowing the grasses on the islands, or grasses on the sidewalks? Or is that-
Randy, is this section of Route 10, is that Mass DOT or is that town? It's Mass DOT?
Yeah.
Then we should be maintaining it.
Okay. I just curious because there's several sections on College Highway right now that have never been mowed. I don't think at all this year.
Okay.
And that's the next thing is we're going to have this great sidewalk and you're going to have a hayfield growing up in between that and the road.
Well, I can talk to our maintenance section about that. I know we're, obviously mowing the interstates, mowing 91, 291, 391 is
Okay. It's not necessarily the state highways, like College Highway.
It's state owned, yes, state, you could call it state highway.
I wonder if they just didn't make it up here. I saw them is Westfield maintained by District 2? Route 10?
Parts of it, yeah.
Okay, because they made it up to Westfield, but I haven't seen them come into
Well,
Southampton.
they could
this
still
year.
get here too.
Okay, true that.
Sure.
Observation, and this is sort of, when you come up Route 10 from the center of Southampton, there's now a brand new flashing yellow light, and there's a tree that observes the whole thing.
That's.
If somebody could take that limb off.
I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard about that, because I've
No,
referred,
it
I've referred a few people.
No, it isn't.
I felt like I should go down there with the bucket loader and just do it myself. It was like, geez.
No, that'll be gone. Whether I pay Andy to do it or whether we have our own forces do it, it'll be gone.
Now, I saw that there's some signage going up the flashing pedestrian crosswalk warnings. Is there going to be a crosswalk anywhere between the trading post and Opa or Subway right in that area, or is it only the
No.
ones that are marked out right now?
No crosswalk there.
All right, 'cause that's
I
a lot of people across there.
I believe that had been asked before, and if I'm not mistaken, don't hold me to this, the sight lines weren't sufficient enough on the corner to allow for it.
Okay.
So they put them
I remember
further
asking.
I
up.
remember that.
Was that the reason?
That was the issue. They
I remember
could
that
not-
answer.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
Is
that was why it went towards a caution light.
yep. Okay.
Okay, because, that's one of our big things, half days, the kids are crossing their.
To go to Opa
So-
or to
no,
go to
they-
Subway?
they gotta go to Subway.
They need to go past Subway, that's part of the Safe Routes to
Right.
School training
Yeah.
that we're gonna do
Right.
with the kids.
Okay.
Is you get to the crosswalk,
Okay, good.
so start that in second grade.
And then have you notified Midtown Motors that has cars coming in and out for the three businesses there, that they're gonna have kids walking through their 2 driveways? Okay.
I think they'll be accustomed to that anyways. No.
It's in the other side.
Usually when there is a half a day of school, we contact the police department in the morning and say, hey, can you get a cop out there? Because we know a ton of kids are gonna be walking to Cumbies or to Subway or to Dunkin' Donuts. And you guys have been gracious enough to always have someone there to make sure the kids are safe crossing Route 10. And I don't even think that now that there's a flashing yellow light and once the crosswalk is there, I think we still need to do that. I think there's an insane amount of kids walking on a half day compared to just a regular school day.
Even when Hampshire Regional kids have a half day, they get dropped off. There's
Right.
several that'll get notes, to have
Yeah.
their bus, drop them off, and they walk there. And if they can't cross there, then they end up going to Paisanos.
Yeah,
But,
So-
so you have Hampshire Regional kids, that, they're older,
right.
but they're still crossing there also.
So if we were to wrap this up, my understanding is the school department's got a good handle on this. The holdup of the project right now is Charter Communications moving their lines and then Verizon moving their lines. Then the utility company, Eversource, comes back, pulls the poles, and then you guys are good to go. So we'll do what we can on our side as the town with Charter. The next part to this is, we also have a concern about the piles of gravel and sands that are there, and you're gonna partner up with these 2 gentlemen, sort that out, so that at a minimum, we'll be back to that shoulder that they can walk down.
Yep, we'll we'll need the whole job up when we mobilize back here before I do the water.
Okay.
So the chief and everybody would be happy and satisfied. And then we're waiting on the utilities.
Now, the water line is running from basically Parker and Brady's down to the Gun Road extension.
Yep,
And is that, all the paperwork on that is done?
it is, yep. Tom, is he the big boss of the water department?
Yes,
Kurt.
Tom is.
Tom
Kurt. Yeah, Tom, I do in the field, Kurt.
Is
I
one of the
don't-
water commissioners.
Yep, it's all
One of the
signed,
three.
sealed, delivered, and we've just been waiting to mobilize when it makes sense back to here. So we're gonna take it off from the park.
So all the abutters are notified of
Yeah,
it?
to my knowledge from Tom.
And the reason I'm asking is that because when they're not notified, they call me.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell Tom and Kurt both, just to make sure.
Okay. So it sounds like we have a handle on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, we would have never vacated the job to begin with, it just became necessary because
Oh,
of the utilities, so.
We understand that.
You, with that, Joe, like?
Yeah, sounds like we're,
And like Charlie said, if he pressures Charter, I have been pressuring them, and if you and Paul can chime in. Yeah, I don't know what type, what type of leverage you have.
well, unfortunately, not a lot
Yeah, that's,
more, but, it's certainly, nice and cautious.
yeah. Charlie may have more leverage than you
It
guys.
sounds
us
like you
then.
may, yeah.
We have a 10-year negotiated contract with Charter. And we can also go to the governor's office that oversees telecommunications and file a complaint against them.
And I don't even know if they're, what their timeframe is.
Well, I'll have to look at the Friday
Yeah,
schedule.
because also the utilities are involved long before these jobs even go out to bid.
Mm.
So there's a history with MassDOT and utilities that we're not privy to, and, right now, they're
Understand.
certainly holding us up.
We understand. Very
Thank
good.
you. Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Yep,
Thank you very much.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Joe.
Not at all.
So push your meeting.